y'all. Welcome back to River Talk. It's always fun when some of Andrew's workout buddies show up on the show. You knew we were going to go there.
Yeah, I had to throw that one out there.
Kevin Garris joins us from Patriot Healthcare. We won't beat you up too badly, but you guys kind of met at the gym, you and Andrew.
Yeah, we meet at the gym, try to, as we age, I guess, take a little better care of the body. And, it's enjoyable, Jack, because you got a little bit of camaraderie, but you also got a little competition, and try to push each other a little bit. And, instead of taking the easy way out, if the person in front of you can do something, you want to be able to do it too. So, kind of.
Pumping the iron.
Yeah, so does Andrew show off a little bit?
He's a pretty strong guy.
Yeah.
He wouldn't admit to it, but he is. He's a pretty strong guy.
Does he spot you?
No, he's usually
maybe once
doing something a little bit different. But maybe once or twice.
Oh, does he bring you towels and stuff like that? Is that his job?
I make sure he has cold water.
He brings the cold water.
Cold water, there you go. Yeah, the water boy. We're needing a nickname for the week, so
there
that
you
might
go.
be it there, the water boy. Well, we met, I think we probably have crossed paths many times just because of, the circles we run in, but I do remember bumping into you over at Anderson Oaks once upon a time.
Anderson Oaks, yep. One of the facilities that we service, and we love that place, and they've always been good to us. And we did that interview out there, back then. So, yeah,
that's going back a while.
Yeah, it's been at least a couple years.
Yeah, Andrew wasn't with us at that time. I mean, he was with us, but
right.
Yeah, he was calling me sir and
distant
getting
shadows.
me cold water.
Yeah.
At that time. Now, well, you see how he disses me on the show.
Now I'm the star.
Yeah, gets to sit. Gets to sit in the big room.
Oh yeah. Look, there he is, the star. Wow. Okay then. Well, Patriot Healthcare. You've been with them obviously a while. What's the purpose of the company? What's your mission statement?
So, Patriot Healthcare. We kind of get. I want to start it off with this by thinking that that's all we do is Patriot stuff, and all we service is veterans, but we service anybody. Mm-hmm. And, we kind of started out as a hospice company, servicing people, with terminal illnesses, end-of-life situation. But we've since grown into doing, palliative care, dealing with folks with chronic illnesses, that aren't terminal yet. And then even beyond that, a physician service in home now, going out to the folks and, that either healthcare wise or transportation wise, it's difficult for them to get out and get to a doctor's office. Some that depend on, the bus to take them to the, public transportation or something, and just going to the doctor turns into an all-day event.
Yeah.
It's just a burden on those folks lugging an oxygen tank around or something. So if we can come and service them right in the home, we send nurse practitioners out to make those visits.
Oh, okay.
And so they get to see the physician, and we can become their primary care, do everything for them from, we contract labs in the homes. They don't have to get out for their labs.
Okay.
Standard x-rays. If the machine can fit through their front door, we can do it in the house. And so, even some scheduled things like ultrasounds and stuff like that. So it's pretty convenient service, filling all their meds, so and especially during this time that we've been going through to where,
I could definitely see you
people might be nervous at hospitals or sitting in a lobby at a doctor's office, convenient for just one person to come see you at your house. So I think it's a pretty good program.
Where did this idea originate? I mean, how did Patriot get started on it?
We didn't originate it, but it does seem like we were, one of the first to go down the route of the physician services. What popped up originally more so was the palliative care. Mm-hmm. The folks that, had a debilitating or chronic type illness, but they weren't terminal. But they still needed more care and to be seen more often and to deal with those symptoms more frequently than just going to their doctor every couple months. And so that program kind of took off, over the last few years, and especially here in South Carolina. And we kind of branched off from that. We take that, but we also went with the physician services because if there's people that need palliative care, there were people that needed physician services. And you know, generally we're servicing the seniors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those folks that are having to deal with the chronic illnesses. But, you know, in special circumstances, we've, you know, dealt with younger people, say with an autism or something, to where a strange environment like a doctor's office is very difficult for parents to take them out to. You know, if we can go see them right there in the bedroom where everything's familiar, you know, it takes a little load off, you know,
Sure.
anxiety off of that. So, you know, it's a good overall program. It really is.
Geographically, what area do you serve?
So the nurse practitioners don't have a mileage restriction on them.
Okay.
They used to. They could only practice so many miles from their supervising MD or DO, whatever.
Mhm.
And but now they've been given a lot, because there's a lot more of them. Honestly, there's a doctor shortage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot more MPs. And so they've been given a lot more, you know, leniency as to what they can do. They can do a lot more stuff. And, you know, some things still have to be supervised, obviously. But we just we kind of match it up to our hospice program. Our CEO's kind of neat. She sits down and she's got this figured out on a map where she's got a little paper plate and she draws a circle. And inside that circle is our service area.
Okay.
And what it amounts to essentially is a 50-mile radius.
All righty. That's a
you
big
know,
paper plate.
Yeah, that's a big
Sure
paper.
is.
But 50-mile radius.
That's one of those heavy-duty Chinette plates you get out 50 miles. Not that flimsy little thing you
no,
put a
that's-
slice
that's
of birthday
heavy.
cake
That's the
on.
good stuff.
That's
the
good
whack
stuff.
one, yeah.
That's the good plate.
Yeah.
50 miles.
50 miles, you know, pretty much the way a bird flies.
Okay.
And so every once in a while, that's a little more road miles, but pretty much a 50-mile what we hold to.
And the center is where? Conway? Or?
Right now, our main office is in Aner.
Okay.
Yep, on
Yep.
8th Avenue.
All
there.
right.
And we were in Conway, but we bought 15 more miles moving to
Yeah,
Aner.
you sure did. Yeah.
You know, because really the Conway office, or even a beach type office, half your coverage area is in the ocean, and not much to cover out there. So
Yeah.
Well, if that
right.
50 miles, you're going as far as what, Marion, Mullins, Florence?
yeah, we're getting out to Florence
Yeah.
and to the coast, to North Carolina line, and then down Georgetown or so.
Huh.
You know, so it's a pretty big area.
Yeah, that's a
pretty big
nice
area.
piece of real estate.
It is, and you know,
Wow.
a lot going on around here. So
Well, how does more people that are moving to the area, how does that impact?
it actually is beneficial, because
Okay.
what we see is folks that come down here, and you know, we'll just call them retirement age.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving down here, but the family's still up north.
Right.
And so when they get down, and you know, life gets tough, whether it's, you know, health reasons or whatever, then there's nobody to help out.
Sure.
You know.
Exactly.
And so a lot of these programs, like what we're doing, are really beneficial to them, because they didn't live here all their lives. They don't have that relationship with that family doctor like we would think of, you know, having been here all our lives. And you know, so you know, I see a lot of that.
Well, you've been here a while, Deacon. I mean, I've got a unique situation because me and my wife, we don't have any family here. I mean, you have families that move from other parts, and they don't have that network of aunts and uncles and grandparents. So, you know, 10, 15 years down the road, man, that's hard to believe I'm getting that old. But
And what we see in those situations, not that, you know, the families won't come down to visit, but sometimes they can't.
right.
Jobs tie them down, life ties them down. And, you know, like in my situation, for me in particular, big network of family. And we can help each other, and this one can fill in or pull, you know, help pull the load a little bit. But when it's just, say, you and a wife, and now she's down, you know, in the bed,
Oh, sure, yeah.
sick, and
that
you're-
happened
and
2 years ago.
and just the weight of, it's not just on the person that's suffering from the health concern, but the caregiver, that family member, that husband, wife, whatever, who's there day after day taking care of somebody is a tough job.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It
sure
is a tough
Well, and
job.
then the Alzheimer's, stuff like that.
Yeah, I
that's-
mean, it's, you
that's
know,
tough.
and you love these people and you'll do anything for them, but just a day after day after day, it really, it takes its toll. It's tough. You know, one of the benefits to the hospice service is one of the levels of care in hospice is respite.
Mhm.
You know, so that 6 days and 5 nights, that loved one can go to a skilled nursing facility, and you can go on that vacation or take that break or go to that family event or whatever it might be that you would have
Yeah.
had to miss out on. You know, so there's a lot of benefits there.
Well, you know, my wife passed. It's been 18 years now, but back then when she had cancer, why? Finally, when they brought hospice in, even when they came to the house, she'd yell for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't go. They'd say, okay, you can go shop, do what you got to get out of the house and get a breath of fresh air. But I didn't leave. So even hospice, you know, I had to stick around. I felt
Yeah, I
like.
mean, it's an
Yeah,
attachment.
you know, so it's I know exactly.
And the emotions, I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's tough.
If something were to happen while you were gone,
Oh,
and then the
yeah.
guilt, you know, and all of that, I get it. But at least you have that option.
But you got
you
the
know,
option,
with the
right?
services. Yeah.
And you do need to get out every once in a while.
Yeah, you gotta
know.
gotta get some fresh
away.
air and look at something else for a few minutes.
Yeah,
Right.
going to the grocery store was actually fun there, as opposed to hanging around the house. I never
Really?
thought that happened.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, just
No
the little
kidding.
things.
Yeah, seriously, just a little breather.
It's always what it comes down to in life, anyway, right?
Little things. How does someone, first off, find out more information, but to sign up for your services? I mean, is there an office? Can you do it online or make a phone call? Or
We could always stop by the office. We're at 618 8th Avenue in Ainer. But, you know, call the office, 888-515-3007, patriotcares.com. Go on and look at everything we do online. But, you know, we're here. We're local. Veteran-owned, veteran-operated. And I'm glad to help anybody we
it's
can.
pretty awesome that you guys have expanded from outside of, you know, serving the vets and the retired military.
Anybody, anybody,
Yeah,
anybody,
right.
anywhere, anytime. If we can help, you know, we're glad to help. And you know, and people get a misconception, you know, of hospice. Somebody comes in and says hospice, they're thinking, okay, I got 3 days to live.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right.
That used to be.
And basically that's
case,
what it
yeah,
was, you
it
know,
was at
and a
one
lot,
time.
and it still is now sometimes, you know. But you know, it's really designed to be a longer stay than that. And I can't tell you how many times, you know, the hard work of a social worker or somebody in there discovering a benefit or some kind of something that folks didn't even realize they qualified for, or they were going to miss out on, that was discovered because we had that extra time.
Right.
You know, and you know, but those are tough decisions to have to make. A lot of people feel like when you hear hospice, that means I'm giving up. You know, but
no, that's no longer the case. That's for sure.
yeah, no.
Well, you said there was a shortage of doctors, and you're covering a lot of real estate. Are there opportunities for people to get involved in your network in the medical profession? Are you looking for some folks to help expand your services?
We're always looking to expand. I mean, you know, nurses, certified nursing assistants, social workers, chaplains. You know, there's a lot of different professions that come into
Wow,
to this.
I hadn't even
to this
considered
care,
the
you know.
chaplain side.
You know, the clinical care, the social care, the spiritual care. You know, there's a lot that comes into it. So you know, a lot of different folks have their hands in what we do. Yeah.
How many years you been in this line of work, Kevin?
I've been doing this for over 10 years
Yeah.
now. Been with Patriot for over 5 now. And I came into the hospice work actually as sort of a volunteer, which is a neat part. You know, I probably failed to mention a while ago, the volunteer side of the program
Okay.
is neat. But I came in as a volunteer and on the chaplain side of things. In certain situations where there was a need, I would go make chaplain visits. I'm a full-time Baptist minister, along with being
Yeah,
a
where's your
direct.
church?
I'm over in Nichols, in the Nichols area.
Okay.
In the Horry County side.
Oh, righty.
But you know, people say Nichols, you never know because
That's
it's in
right.
Dillon County, Marion County, Horry County.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's
yeah.
a tiny place with a giant, you know,
It does have a big footprint.
mail route or
Yeah,
whatever.
It does,
But
yeah.
yeah, I came in as the chaplain, you know, and really enjoyed that. And with Patriot originally was their chaplain here in this area, and then got into the marketing side of things, and then that expanded into the director's role. But so never really set out in life to be in healthcare, but that's just the direction the good Lord sent me, you know.
Right.
Yeah, well, you know, it takes special people to do what you do.
Oh, my
I mean, it really
goodness.
does. Listen, I'm going to tell you that hospice. Listen, I couldn't believe it. They're wonderful. I mean, people don't realize, you know, that's a stressful gig, but they're under pressure. They're great.
We
you know,
we learn along the way that, you know, and it takes all kinds of nurses. So this is not me putting anybody down in any way. But some folks are designed to be in a doctor's office. Some folks are designed to be at the hospital. Some folks are made for hospice.
Right, right.
Because to
exactly.
deal with end-of-life situations on a day after day after day after day basis, you know, you got to really be able to look at things with the right frame of mind, or it can be tough on nurses and caregivers. Those CNAs that are there probably the most often of anybody in our staff, you know, sometimes they're daily. I mean, they really build a bond with these patients, you know.
Oh, yeah,
and-
they'll cry with you.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, man, I know.
can't tell you how many times they just have a meltdown because you get attached. I mean, they almost become like family in a way.
Oh, they do. They do become
And,
family.
yeah. You're trusting them with, you know, vulnerable situations. And so it's a lot more to it than, you know, I don't have much longer to live, you know.
Right.
It's a lot of support.
Well, that's
A lot
awesome.
of support.
Well, let me ask you, who does your bald head? I would say who does your hair, but you don't have any. Who does your bald head? I like that. That's
You know, saving a lot of money on shampoo and
Well,
doesn't
it
take
looks
it long to
good.
dry.
Yeah.
I guess you'd call it genetics or you know, God's sense of humor or whatever. But
Yeah.
I tell you what, I used to just keep it cut real short when it was falling out. And then one day I was shaving and I said, you know what? I just kept right on going up. And, you know, got dressed and walked out. And my little girl, you know, back then, she said, Daddy, what have you done? So it started out as a joke and it turned into, hey, man, this is all right. So
Yeah, but you know what? It looks good.
It looks good.
It does.
Kevin, thank you for coming to see us,
Hey, good
man.
to see you
Y'all
guys.
can talk
Yeah,
about
enjoyed
bald
it.
heads and hair care products after this. River Talk continues in just a moment.
Jack will be put.